So let's talk a little bit about turf grass and our turf grass going into dormancy. So in the Northeast Florida area, we really have three main types of grass that you're going to see. You have St. Augustine turf, you have Bermuda, and then you have Zoysia. So in our St. Augustine, the best practices for that turf going into dormancy really start months before now. You want to have that St. Augustine being cut at a really, really tall height. Between 4.5, we prefer 5 inches. What that's going to do is it's going to allow the roots to get really nice down deep into the soil. They're going to be able to collect more water as well as nutrient. It's also going to give you a stronger blade of grass in general. And that's really the first step in kind of preparing that turf for dormancy. So then once we get into that first frost, first freeze, we're getting really, really cool nighttime temps, and even those temps that aren't really reaching above 65 during the day. You're going to start seeing that grass lose a little bit of its color. Maybe even after a frost, you'll see a little bit of browning. Totally normal. That is the dormancy state for St. Augustine turf. At that point in time, you can cut it a little shorter, and then you really don't want to touch it for as long as possible. You shouldn't see a whole lot of growth, although you may see some if we get some nice sunny days, maybe a spike in temperature for a couple weeks, and even some consistent rainfall. At that point in time, go ahead. You can give your turf a little bit of a cut, get it back down to a manageable height, and then once you start seeing the growth slow down, back off cutting it. We don't want to cause any damage in the wintertime when we don't have a growing grass, because that will cause issues in the spring startup. Now, in terms of both your Bermuda and your Zoysia, they go into a much different kind of dormancy state. So you're going to see lots of browning. Your yard may look dead. It's okay. That's just the grass shutting off for the winter time. It doesn't have those warm temperatures that it needs to kind of sustain its growth. At that point in time, you can overseed, especially in something like a Bermuda. Not necessarily something that we highly recommend. In our region, it's a little bit difficult with our weather patterns and the correct time to throw that seed down. You'll probably have to do it multiple times to get really good coverage. If you can kind of withstand that unsightly look for a couple months, that's your best bet until we get those warm temperatures and that grass starts growing again.